here, your host of the Value Proposition by the Fitness Business Podcast, coming to you live with ASF and Club OS's own Nick Hahn, VP of Product for Season 2 of Talk Data to Me. We're so excited to be back. Nick, welcome back, my friend. I'm thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, definitely excited to be doing this again, coming back with a couple more episodes and more customer perspective that we can help the rest of the market with.
I love it so much. And as Nick just mentioned, our focus this season will be to look at certain generational trends and data that we have to support them to help you, our fellow health club owners and operators, make informed decisions when it comes to different age groups in your fitness facilities. Today, we're going to be speaking with Nick Hernandez, Senior General Manager at World Gym Texas City and Houston, about the success that they have had in marketing to attracting and retaining Gen Zs. Nick, welcome.
Hey, Sarah. Thank you both, obviously, for having me on. Excited diving into this topic.
Absolutely. And so if you're listening, it's we have a bunch of Nick H's with us today, so it's gonna be fun.
It'll be fine. I'll be fine.
What could go wrong?
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So before we dive into the amazing content that Nick Hernandez has and Nick Hahn has for us today, I do want to set the stage for what we mean when we say Gen Z. So if you're listening to this in the year 2023, that is anyone ages 13 to 26. Okay, so it's a really broad range. That's still high school students, maybe even middle school, all the way into college age, young professional, young adults, right? So it's a wide gap. There's a lot going on, and the priorities are different within that one age group. I've done a few different fitness presentations over the past year on generations in fitness, and I've worked specifically with Murphy Research. And per their State of Our Health syndicated research program, 70% of Gen Zs that were surveyed, which the sample size is about 60,000, 70% of Gen Zs were engaged with fitness, meaning they either wear a fitness tracker or use a fitness app at least once a week. That's a huge number. So we really want to dive into this and understand this group thoroughly. One more piece that I really think is important here, 43% of Gen Zs hold a gym membership. That's high. That's coming in second, right behind millennials. Millennials, 49% of, again, the survey hold a gym membership. So do not count out this age group. And with that being said, let's dive in and understand it. Nick Hahn, any fun data points about Gen Zs that you want to share from the Club OS side?
Yeah, so it's interesting that data shows how important Gen Z is to growing a health club membership base. Considering the vast majority of those Gen Z prospects are generally underage or not yet working out regularly, to increase them and to grab them as they get to that age is going to be really important. As we were planning for this episode, I was doing some research into our customer base to see really which locations were the most successful at attracting Gen Z. And generally speaking, we saw that our customers had anywhere between 35 to 40% of their membership signups were Generation Z. And there were some outliers. And the locations that Nick Hernandez manages, the Texas City and Houston World Gym locations, are two of those outliers, where Texas City averages about 46% of their new memberships being Gen Z, and Houston at 48%. And just as diving into it and seeing what they do, and part of why I really love what they've been doing with their social media and their Instagram presence, how they're focusing on spotlighting the members, how they're focused on getting the members to share their posts, and then their corporate accounts are resharing the members' posts. So it's turning the members into micro influencers, which appeals to the Gen Z population so heavily because they all want to be an influencer. They all want to be the next TikTok or Instagram celebrity. So I just really love what they're doing. And that's why I felt that bringing Nick Hernandez on here was such a perfect mix for what we're trying to help communicate.
And Nick Hahn, you would know because you're Insta famous, right?
I wouldn't say that. No, I think you have a better following than I do.
I love it. Well, Nick Hernandez, congratulations, first of all, to you and your team. Those are incredible statistics. And we want to know, we want to learn more. So what is your most successful tactic in leveraging your Gen Z members for marketing purposes?
Yeah, most important tactic is creating that influencer base from Gen Z. We've obviously come to find out that obviously that is kind of the more social norm now. Communication through it, posting it. So a lot of what we do obviously is challenge our members and encourage our members to post, to share, to comment, tag across all platforms. This obviously creates that member engagement, and then obviously spotlighting them. So we have, our member of the month that goes on our Jumbotron in Texas City, on our ad display TVs here in Houston. We'll be able to kind of spotlight them, feature them. Those are the ones that are going to be the most engaged. So we've seen that as obviously one of the biggest return of investments there, with little to no work obviously on our side. It's just something that putting it out there, hey, have a chance to be featured, show us your best flex right in our posing room in Houston. Little things like that, obviously it's going to get them hyped up, right? This is the younger generation. They're coming to their own. So we want to encourage that and let them kind of be able to portray themselves as they are growing into the adults.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail right on the head there, Nick. This generation is really into physical appearance. It's very, very important to them. And so, can we jump in on that a little bit more, Nick Hernandez? Like, why do you think turning your own members into influencers has worked so well for you? Is it because that is their age and just, having someone hype you up is just really important to them? Like, is that just truly what you're seeing?
For the majority, I'd say, yeah. I think a lot of them, obviously, even in their small social groups, we'll have through our athletics program, we have obviously coaches come out, even the ones that are coming on their own, the young athletes from high school to college age students, we'll offer amenities for them to be able to work out as they please and the different kind of workouts. But for the most part, they're usually going to work out in groups. So it just kind of helps encourage one another, right? Create that friendly competition within each other, just like they do in school. It kind of helps create the social environment that they're already kind of accustomed to and wanting to grow into, but express themselves among their peers and kind of have that healthy competition, but also communication across the board where they'll hype each other up, right? You'll have your college students, your high school students. Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do better than that. Or I did more. Or that's my boy, right? They'll get those kind of comments and again, just fires them up, keeps them engaged, keeps them wanting to come in. And obviously, word of mouth is the best kind of free marketing you can get.
Absolutely. We know
Yeah,
that. We agree.
yeah. It's so crazy because one of the old tactics for getting new memberships is like the cold referrals. And the conversion rate for a cold referral is somewhere like 8 to 10%. Like it's not that great. So if you can instead have your members posting on their Instagram stories about how much fun they're having at your location to their network of people, that's such a better spidering experience of that warm referral at getting someone in. And if someone's like, oh, look, I won this competition, and their best friend's like, oh, could have done so much better than them. I'm going to join and beat them next time. Like, that's such a real thing that happens in social circles that you're able to tap into that.
Nick Hernandez, walk us through what this looks like, right? Because if someone is listening to this today, they're going, okay, I need real life testimonials. I'm going to need video content. Walk us through what your marketing manager does, or is this cell phone content, or is it professionally videotaped? Like, what is that actual process of getting these members to leave you these testimonials to create the influencers?
It's simple and complex, right? At the same time, we kind of mix a little bit of kind of all the points that you touched. So I do have obviously a marketing director. Fortunately, obviously, it's something that it's been in her forte and she loves doing. I can say obviously you don't need to have that kind of background as long as you enjoy obviously filming, videoing, and not afraid of being on camera. We started obviously with her walking around, getting footage with consent of them working out or doing certain kind of workouts, even, testimonials, what they love most about our gym, what they're enjoying most about the gym, their favorite chest workout, their favorite, playlist, their music that they're listening to. And all obviously with the incentive of, hey, if we like your music, even if it has a clean version, we can play it on our radio. when we're recording, it's, hey, you have a chance to be featured on our social media, right? You're going to get a shout out. Made it that much easier for them to do it willingly, to be able to participate in some of that. And then all the other challenges, obviously it's self-directed, where we tell them, hey, comment or tag us on your best pose or during your workouts. From there was incentivized for the most part. As the operator of the gym, I could honestly say free time never really hurt us, or even small boost in their posts versus having to create a full-on ad. Much less expensive to be able to boost somebody's story, right? Because they're a featured member. Pennies on the dollar compared to true advertising cost. So that kind of helped spike it. They saw that, we kept our word to it and stayed consistent, letting them know, hey, it's going to happen at least once a month, if not every week, where we have something for you. So a lot of it does get generated. If they're hesitant to even just post it on there, we tell them send it to our marketing director. So her contacts obviously around the gym. That way people have somewhere to send it to, or even just sending it as a direct message. We tell them just send us a direct message with the video. We'll clean it up, do the editing for you, and we'll be able to post you. We'll add some music, So we're working hand in hand with our members directly, keeps them more engaged and willing to do it. Say, I want this. Can you send it to me? Absolutely.
It's a little bit of everything. And what you said too about, advertising your marketing director's information, like even just putting up a sign that's like, you have great content, send us it on Instagram, right? Email it here. I think that's awesome. People probably have a ton of content, right? And no one has ever asked them for it. So it's always a no unless you ask for it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
Awesome. Did it happen organically with your team, Nick, or is this something that you all sat down, looked at the numbers and said, we have a lot of young kids here. This really needs to be our marketing focus?
I can honestly say it did happen, obviously, through collaborating. I do have an amazing team, and obviously, we're culture of care. Obviously, is something that I've always cared about, especially when it comes to the younger community. I think worked at a lot of gyms, and most of them obviously only market to once they're already adults or working professionals. But there's several kids out there that obviously want to be young athletes and want to continue on to their fitness journey outside of school, even outside of college, right? A lot of college students, to right out of it, they tell me that they've stopped, playing whatever sport because they just didn't have anywhere to go, or they didn't know what to do. I've seen this happen a lot, and obviously wanted to create a change. So got with the team, we got together, and we created a game plan to say, this is who we need to target. We need to open up our facility. We need to have memberships available to these younger professionals and young adults. We need to have the resources for them to, let's find out what they like to do. Let's hear from them. Let's get their feedback through testimonials. We can adjust the gym accordingly, just to make sure that we can cater to all the ages, but more so this one, right? There's the longevity in capturing Gen Z and having the market for us, because they're going to be the next Gen Y, but they'll keep the new generation, right, coming in, and it should create a healthy business for us. It has so far, and I'm confident it'll continue to do so.
That's so awesome. Nick Hernandez, is there any lesson, I'll say, that you have learned, like if you could go back and do this all over again, your marketing game plan from square one, would you have done anything different?
I would have done a lot of this sooner.
Good answer.
No, I mean, honestly, again, one of the biggest lessons that I do have, obviously, is doing a little bit more research and getting more engaged with the member. Being in this industry, we all know it's a numbers game, but the most important thing, obviously, is each of those numbers has a name and an opinion. And like any one of us today or anyone out there, we all want to be heard, right? That's the most important thing, is giving them a voice. And, if it's something that we can make more comfortable and more suitable to their needs, why not do it, right? It's going to have the return of investment, especially pouring into the younger generation.
Nick Hahn, what's going through your mind right now, my friend?
A lot. I think, as always, I think one area that I wish more gyms would start factoring in is to think about how the messaging during the prospect journey can change to integrate some of these social media constructs. So instead of just using testimonials in on your social post, we can start including testimonials in your responses to web leads, right? So leveraging that content that's being created for social in multiple other channels, that way it gets broader appeal. And instead of an email from a trainer or from a salesperson trying to get you to join, you get an email with a video of a member telling you why they love being at the gym so much. So it's this next level of the social media and bringing it across multiple channels, the email, the text, the rest of your advertisement play also. I think that's such an important next step for us to go on as a journey in the industry.
Absolutely. Now, Nick Hernandez, are there any other organic ways that you have gotten in front of the younger generations to turn them into prospective members?
We actually have partnered with a lot of the community around. So the high school coaches, the colleges nearby, and even some of your club leagues, their coaches obviously are able to come in and collaborate with us for, training their athletes off season, even on season. They'll rent out the basketball court, run their own tournaments. During the turf, we'll have some challenges. We partner with some of the schools in their athletics program for them to come out, utilize our turf space and athletic platforms. Our pickleball courts, obviously it's across the board right now for all ages. So they're utilizing it out there, having leagues and tournaments, keeps them kind of engaged, but allowing some of that space to also be rented out or collaborate and partnered with the community outreach. I think that's kind of really brought in not even just those members, but obviously their parents, right? Because that's the generation up usually. And that comes in and say, I want to know what this is about. And it brings about a lot more business. Can't tell you, obviously, after every tournament we've had, there's at least 5 people signing up because they're like, I didn't even know this was here, right? And it's like, okay, well, advertising can only go so far. It's nothing better than that organic, like, hey, I'm already here, why not?
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Nick Hahn, are you seeing other customers take that approach?
Not as much as they should be. I think a lot of gyms, the selling point is the gym itself. So by getting a whole bunch of non-members into the building to look around and be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Look at that feature you have over there. Look at that piece of equipment. Like getting a prospect in the door for a tour is kind of hard. Getting them into the door because they're bringing their child to a basketball tournament is trivial. It's easy. And there's clubs out there that need basketball court space or pickleball court space. I mean, pickleball court, especially depending on where you are, there might be not enough courts for the entertainment value that's out there. So renting it out and not trying to create your own lead, not trying to compete with the other local community leagues, but leveraging your space and bringing those prospects to your location to then try it out and want to learn more is just it's such a great, again, an organic marketing approach to increasing your membership base.
It's genius. It really, really is. Love it, especially when the space sells itself. So congrats, Nick Hernandez. Thank you, Nick Hahn. All right, Nick Hernandez, I'm going to let you have the last and final word here for gym owners, operators listening today that are, just feeling a little overwhelmed, right? Just maybe by the younger generation and their needs. What is, any words of wisdom for them just to give them that boost that they need to go out there and get these younger generations in their businesses?
My words of wisdom is always get on the community. There's somebody that you haven't reached, no matter how much marketing or advertising you do through digital platforms. Most of it's just there's your communities right next door, whether it be the churches, the schools. They're all obviously organizations that work with younger adults. And this obviously will bring about organically, that partnership is going to bring you the people that are creating these facilities and running these facilities themselves. And obviously they're going to be able to advertise for you. And, it's something that's invaluable with what we're doing right now, where the churches nearby, the schools nearby, they're even putting our logo in their games without us paying for the sponsorship, just because we help them with their training programs or the athletic programs. It's essentially at no cost to us, and it's invaluable return because they're shouting us out, they're mentioning us, they're aware, they're inviting us to their events, to come out there and talk to their community, right? So most of it obviously is going to be, that younger generation where you can kill two birds with one stone is the only way I can look at it. If I reach out to the younger adults, their parents are right there as well, and they want to support and encourage their kids. Being a parent myself, I'm always going to support athletics for the younger generation, for my own, and that means I have to stay active, right? Or at least, help them. And who knows, you might find what you're looking for in the gym, or that might be the little push that your next prospect needs is, hey, I just need a reason to go in the door, not necessarily for me, but because I have to. And that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Nick Hahn, anything to add on top of that?
No, I'm just still hurt that Nick referred to us as the older generation. So
The elder millennials.
no, it's gonna take a few days to get over that one.
We're on the end of the spectrum, but we're still there.
I know.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. Nick Hernandez, Nick Hahn, thank you so much for joining us, and those of you viewing this episode, thank you so much for joining us for season 2, episode 1 of Talk Data to Me. We hope that the information shared today will be very beneficial for you marketing Generation Zs in your community. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.